Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows: Punjab, trading places, kidlit, country cookbooks, suffixes, and manimal. Player one, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. We're sure you'll just love Ondatratabethicus, this rodent. Okay, player one. Oh, sorry. The correct response is the muskrat. Player one, choose again. Here's Jimmy. He'll show you.
Near two major rivers, this Missouri city was founded as a fur trading post by Pierre Leclerc in 1763.
Here's the correct response. St. Louis. You get to pick again, player one. This Kipling lad goes on a Himalayan journey with a Tibetan Lama. Here's what we were looking for. Kim. Player one, you pick again, please. The Little House Cookbook features frontier foods from this woman's classic stories. Let's hear it, player one. Right.
Yeah! Woo!
Player one, choose again. The suffix -ose, O-S-E, is used to form the names of these, as in glucose and sucrose. Let's hear it, player one. You got it, and you're back into some money. Player one, pick again. Predominant in the Punjab, this religion has origins in both Hinduism and Islam. Player one? That's correct. You get to pick again, player one. This Louise Fitzhugh lass spies on her classmates and writes about them in her secret notebook. The correct response is Harriet. You get to pick again, player one. We love this suffix that means lover of, as in audio or Anglo. Let's hear it, player one.
Yeah!
You got it. Player one, you pick again, please. A rhesus or a macaque? We're talking about a monkey. Player one, back to you. It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. What are you going to wager? The clue. In a Francis Hodgson Burnett tale, Mary Lennox tends to the secret this. You are correct. You get to pick again, player one. Fit for a King is full of his favorite recipes, including the chicken served at his wedding to Priscilla. The correct response is Elvis Presley. Player one, back to you. A three-letter suffix that forms the present participle of a verb, or before direct, an online banking group. We're talking about ing. Player one, back to you for our next selection. As part of his easternmost conquests, this Greek's armies occupied the Punjab around 327 BC. Yes, player one? Right.
Yeah! Woo!
Please pick again, player one. This city's Grand Bazaar was built in 1451 by Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror. Here's the response we were looking for. Istanbul. Player one, Pick again. A game of hide and seek leads Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy into this land that's always winter and never Christmas. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Player one, pick again. There's a recipe for butcher holler possum in your Cooking It Country by this country music queen. Here's what we were looking for. Loretta Lynn. Please pick again, player one. Silly rabbit, this suffix isn't for kids. It was used for female equivalents, like for women aviators. Let's hear it, player one. That's it. Player one, pick again. In a Rudyard Kipling story, one of these animals saves a family from a deadly cobra. Player one? Good. Player one, you pick again, please. Since 1947, the historic region of Punjab has been divided between these two countries. Here's what we wanted. India and Pakistan. Please pick again, player one. Frankfurt's Rossmarkt was a site for this type of animal trading, also a term for hard bargaining. The correct response is horse trading. Player one, back to you. In this Kipling work, the title orphan's father was a sergeant in an Irish regiment in the Punjab. Here's what we wanted. Kim. Please pick again, player one. This daughter of Maybelle Carter honored her mom by writing Mother Maybelle's Cookbook. Here's the response we were looking for. June Carter. You get to pick again, player one. From its founding in 1898 until 1919, this exchange was known as the Chicago Butter and Egg Board. Here's what we were looking for. Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Player one, back to you for our next selection. This suffix, as with ACR or SYN, is from the Greek for name. It's player one. No. Here's what we wanted. Onim. Select again. Leroy Brown is the real name of the boy detective with this bookish nickname. Here's the correct response. Encyclopedia. Please pick again, player one. Of the three animals on Ontario, Canada's coat of arms, the one that fits the category. Here's the response we were looking for. A moose. You get to pick again, player one. Located on this continent, the Kanem-Bornu Empire lasted 1,000 years by being a center of trade. We're talking about Africa. We return to you, player one. You'll find Goober's banana pudding in this Mayberry Auntie's book of delightful desserts. Yes, player one? Yeah. Right you are. Player one, back to you. The scarlet species of this tropical flyer is known for its brilliant plumage and strong voice. Yes, player one? Yeah. That's it. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. In the 1840s, this European power fought two costly wars over the Punjab before annexing the region outright. Player one? Yes. The full Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Key to the city. Terme d'art. The Mediterranean isle where One World, Constellations, and TV Math. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. Hawkeye's unit number in MASH, plus John Lithgow's title Rock from the Sun. Here's the correct response. What is 4080? We return to you, player one. In the 1680s, Johannes Hevelius added 7 new constellations, including Vulpecula, the little this. Okay, player one. Ooh, sorry. That's in. Here's what we wanted. Fox. Player one, you pick again, please. Here's Kelly from our Clue Crew with the clue.
This constellation stretches from the claws to the stinger.
Here's the correct response. Scorpio. Player one, back to you. The bright star Betelgeuse marks one of the shoulders of this constellation. Here's what we were looking for. Orion. Player one, pick again. Ptolemy listed a constellation named for this Jason's ship. It's been replaced by Carina, Puppis, Pyxis, and Vela. The correct response is Argo. We return to you, player one. In the late 16th century, this Flemish cartographer projected the constellations onto star globes. Here's the correct response. Gerardus Mercator. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Dubuffet coined this term from the French for to bring together for works made of bits of things. We're talking about assemblage. You get to pick again, player one. French for deceive the eye. This technique tricks you into thinking a painted object is real and not two-dimensional. Yes, player one? No, sorry. Here's what we were looking for. Trompe-l'œil. Player one, choose again. French term for the technique of placing paper over a relief surface and rubbing with crayon or pencil. The correct response is frottage. Please pick again, player one. The name of this odd movement, French for hobby horse, was appropriately chosen at random from a dictionary. Here's what we wanted. Dada. Player one, pick again. Jugendstil is the German equivalent for this French term for the decorative style of the 1890s. Here's the correct response. Art Nouveau. Player one, you pick again, please. Based in Chicago, this financial services provider merged with J.P. Morgan Chase in 2004. Here's what we were looking for. Bank One. Player one, back to you. Title of playwright Moss Hart's autobiography. Here's the response we were looking for. Act 1. Player 1, back to you. Numerical name for Scheherazade's tales. We're talking about the 1001 Nights. Player 1, you pick again, please. A popular koan, or meditation subject of Zen Buddhism, asks the student to try to imagine this sound. The correct response is one hand clapping. We return to you, player 1. To completely reverse your direction while driving is to pull one of these. Okay, player 1. No. The correct response is a 180. Player 1, choose again. Daedalus was imprisoned. We're talking about Crete. Player 1, pick again. Penelope waited for Ulysses to return. It's player 1. That's right, way to go. Player 1, back to you. Answer, the first of the daily doubles. And you're in the lead now. What are you going to wager? Here is your daily double clue. Sappho styled her stanzas. That's correct. You get to pick again, player one. Here's Kelly.
It's the Mediterranean Isle, where you'll find this Baroque fresco, and where the Knights Hospitaller reigned until 1798.
Here's what we wanted. Malta. Player one, you pick again, please. A colossal ancient wonder collapsed following an earthquake in the 3rd century BC. Here's the correct response. Rhodes. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Circular Quay is a hub of transportation and tourism in this city. Here's what we were looking for. Sydney. Player one, pick again. We wonder whether a steamroller was used to form the many quays of this German city chartered in 1607. The correct response is Mannheim. We return to you, player one. A large stone quay built by the French in 1780 is still used in Port-au-Prince, its capital. It's player one. Here's the response we were looking for. Haiti. Player one, you pick again, please. Government building on Lambton Quay in this New Zealand capital is one of the world's largest wooden buildings. The correct response is Wellington. We return to you, player one. Check out the Quay of Karakoy in this city, known as Constantinople during the Byzantine Empire. Here's what we wanted. Istanbul. Player one, pick again. Careful. Tina Fey's title Rock minus Ashton Kutcher's title Men. We're talking about 27 and a half. Player one, pick again. Answer, the other daily double. You are currently in the lead. What are you going to answer? John Ritter's sitcom Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter times John Ritter's sitcom Company. Here's what we wanted. 24. Player one, you pick again, please. Colonel Steve Austin's title worth plus the amount of title days at a time for Bonnie Franklin. We're talking about 6,000,001. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. Fred McMurray's title sons minus Paul Reiser's title dads. The correct response is 1. You are moving on to Final Jeopardy, which will continue after these messages. Now, Final Jeopardy coming right up right now with this category. Before they were senators. So, what's your wager? The Final Jeopardy clue is as follows. Later a U.S. Senator, in 1962, he made a famous 75,000-mile trip. And your response? And that correct response will add... This makes you our new champion, Player One, so congratulations. So long.